And good evening, everybody, and welcome to At the Picnic Season 2, Episode 20, Danny. We've got a gentleman on who we had on 365 days ago, who we've got him back on again this year. We've got Marcus Goonan, the president of Dederang, and last time we spoke to him, they were looking forward to the races at Dederang on this Saturday, and unfortunately there was a little bit of a part of the track on the Friday, which the stewards deemed as a little bit dangerous, so they had to call it off. I went up there still on the Saturday, and it was still a magnificent day.
It's a ripping setting up there, and these guys do a bloody fantastic job for a once-a-year club. Their meeting is definitely one of the standouts of the picnic meeting season, and their grounds are spectacular. The scenery and that around it and the drive into that place is just amazing. So I'm gutted. Pink bloody put a Saturday night concert on, so I won't be joining anyone up there this year. I had 3 headed up there, but we've had to make alternate arrangements. But they've got a really great field of horses up there this year, 100 noms. It's the most they've ever had, they were just saying. So it's going to be a great weekend up there. Their cup field's solid as.
Absolutely. And Marcus, welcome, mate. Being the president of Dederang Racing Club, mate, obviously has its perks, as we can see you being chauffeur driven right now. Where are you off to, mate?
We're actually just off to the Mudgegonga Caravan Park. So there's a large contingent of married relatives staying at the Mudgegonga Caravan Park. So going up to say hello to them. One of the beautiful things about our race meet is that we do end up filling up the caravan parks and the accommodation around us, for 3 or 4 days before and a couple of days after, which is, good.
I can vouch for that because we went on booking.com last night. We said, we better get accommodation up there. Couldn't get anything, mate. Nothing at Myrtleford, nothing at Bright, nothing at Yakandanda, nothing, mate. So we have to travel south for an hour to get accommodation. So we're going to spend the night in Wangaratta. Well, he must have hit a dead spot. He'll come back.
You need to nearly book 12 months in advance to get in up there. We were really fortunate. Friends of mums live. I can't think of the name of the joint, but they live about 45 minutes away from there, and we stayed up there a couple of times that we went up there.
It's booked.
No, we've lost him. He'll come back. Yeah. So we'll quickly talk about your week, Danny. You had a wedding anniversary, I should say. Celebration?
No. Valentine's Day /
Valentine's Day. Sorry, that's what it was.
Match got 20 in a day on the green.
On the green. You spent the night in the winery.
Everybody got wiped out with thunderstorms, so we're still cleaning up from that, as I'm sure many, many other people are out there at the moment. And just in time for the next load of storms to cruise through, we've actually got thunder and lightning happening as we speak.
And you had a dirty big copperhead wandering around your property.
I did. We've disposed of him and got him off the property, so that's always a good thing. They are a protected species, so we like to do the right thing.
That's right.
But he no longer resides here, so yes, he's vamoosed.
Tell him to go down the road where all the big rats are.
Mate, anywhere on the market garden next door is a welcome. Nowhere near my hay shed, which was where he was headed, in amongst my cats and dogs and all the rest of it. I'm sure there was probably a couple of mice there. Yeah, way too close for children and small animals for my comfort. But so what else? We had a ripping meeting at Woolamai.
We had the greyhound race.
We did the 888 for all of those who wonder what the greyhound race is. So that was pretty quick. I must remember to look up the time as to what we ran in comparison to Moonee Valley. So I haven't done that. That was a bit slack of me today, but I've been a bit under the pump.
Yep.
What else is going on in picnic world? So we've got a ripping card coming up for the Dederang meeting.
And then we've got Yay on Sunday.
Fields, and then of course we've got Yay on Sunday. So
the St Patrick's Cup on Sunday.
Yeah, unfortunately it's a double header again, which we've been saying to country racing for years to let's not have a double header so as we can all enjoy Dederang a little bit more because it's such a cracking day. But the way the programming has worked this year, it just hasn't sort of worked out that way. But the Dederang Cup has got a couple of really solid noms, solid acceptors with Don with Dishes, Tyson Barton, of course, with Chestnut Thunder, Baso Carouse, Nicole Dixon's handyman, last strike and you're out, who's been ever consistent, and Who Stopped the Rain, who's really come up this season as well. So they've got the 0 to 55 race up there as well, over 1,350. It's got Gwenny Begg in it, who of course won the Healesville Cup, Hinnamunji Cup last year. Money Made Famous, Jerugal Diamond, Lightning Rider have been some really handy horses through the season. So all the crew are up there. We've got Jack, Benny, Grant, Caitlin, Sophie, Tracy, Tyson all heading up there, and Grant, and Sean as well. So it'll be a ripping weekend up there. And then if we head into Yay.
Oh, we got him back. So it's all right, Marcus. We've been spruiking your cup for you, mate.
I've actually been able to hear you, so I think it's
okay.
my end.
No, that's all good, mate. So
we just can't hear you.
just with going back to the Dederang Cup, Danny. Interesting that Don Dwyer's got dishes in with 71.5 and didn't put a claimer on it. So big weight.
Yeah, look, Dishes, he's a grand old horse and he's a big horse and he does seem to carry the weight not too terribly. So I'm personally not surprised. And look, horse and rider combinations can have a little bit to do with it too.
Of course.
So if you've got a good combo going, you don't necessarily want to change it. So
now,
that can always play a part.
Now, Marcus, one of your sponsors is Milestone Chemicals, and I saw a video during the week where they've been a sponsor for something like 30 years. Is that correct? No, we've lost him again. That's all right.
Bugger, this is a shocking line tonight.
It is.
Yeah, I threw up his name.
Oh, you
There
can
we
hear
go.
it?
We've got him back again.
No, he's gone. He's dropped out. We'll get him back. So Shark Hin's in as well.
Yep.
David,
He's also dual accepted. He's also in on Saturday, as is Who Stopped the Rain. Who Stopped the Rain and Last Strike and You're Out, and Private Button are all also accepted for Yay.
Yep. And
so is Beso Caruso too. So yeah, there's a lot of dual acceptors, so it'll be interesting to see how the scratchings pan out come 7:30 Saturday morning.
Very, very true. And the other fields are actually quite strong. So they're going to have a very good day.
Well, it's All Too Creedy, Whiskey Jack, Who Stopped the Fizz, and Popeye the Sailor all matching off again in the 2040 St. Pat's Cup. So that's going to be a really interesting race up there too. And of course,
absolutely.
Willits is still carrying 68.5, which isn't overly smashing. Popeye the Sailor gets in at 68, and your little mate Creedy, he gets in at 66.5, which is probably the lowest weight he's had for a while.
Yes, we're quite happy with that.
Anything but Who Doesn't Mind a little bit of yay action. With Dylan has got him with 65.5. So that's going to be a really, really interesting race as well. So we've got a really, really good weekend coming up this weekend.
So no, that's why I'm doing the double and staying at Wang on the Saturday night and coming home via Yay on the Sunday morning.
Nice. Also, at Yay in the 1600 metre, we've got good old Frankie Stockdale coming up with Large and In Charge. I wonder whether he's racing again on Friday night.
Yes.
So he's got a runner going around as well. Jack Pagona scored the steer job again.
He's in form now, Jackie. He sort of said to me a couple of weeks ago he's sick of running second and third, and got another couple of winners last week, if I remember rightly. He definitely got one. Yeah,
he is. He's the silent striker, little Jack. He just pokes along and keeps his nose out of trouble, and by the halfway through the season and 2/3 of the way through, he starts kicking some pretty solid goals. So he's going all right. Caitlin had a pretty quiet start, but she's starting to get a lot more rides as well. And Benny Moffat, he's picked up the reins, obviously, with Razor and Christine as well. So he's really coming in, having a good end of season. So it's been really good. And Deb and Beck are actually going to Yea, which isn't a place that they go all that often, but they're going up there for 1,200 metre maiden in a very small field.
Okay.
So that'll be one to keep an eye on. They don't often go up there, but I reckon they'd have a pretty fierce strike rate for going up there.
At Yarra Glen last week, they got third with Sleeping Tiger, which was a belter of a run.
Yeah, it was a massive run. Yeah, it was a massive run. He come down the outside late. It was. There was a few picnic crew in that race. There's a few going around again this weekend at Yarra Valley as well. So, yeah, we got beaten 2.6. We were stuck in on the rail and didn't really want to go with horses outside us. So it'll be a great weekend. There's a lot of crew going to Moe as well on the Sunday.
Yes.
There's a heap of 0 to 58 races as well. So a lot of the horses that we normally have through the picnic fields are going back to the pros again to have a bit of a crack and see how we go. Hello, welcome back.
He's back.
We hope.
Well, let's see if I'm back.
There you go. There you go. So can
are you in a dodgy spot or you got storms?
No, tricky spot.
Okay. Can you tell us, Marcus, what you've got happening between the races on Saturday? I mean, if you go on to Country Victoria website, they've advertised it, but please let us know. You've got all sorts of things happening.
Yeah, we definitely do. We've got fashions on the field happening. We have our major raffle draw, which is well over $2,000 worth of prizes. We've got face painting, kids giant games, petting zoo, as well as a live band, and just one of those things that makes it quite unique is having the band between races. I will be requesting horses as the cup field goes out in true Moonee Valley tradition, and we'll it should be good.
Love it. It's face painting for the adults as well.
Absolutely, Paul. I will expect to see you there repping your colours.
We're going to line up for Richmond colours, I reckon. He keeps spruiking Richmond, so I think we need to do a Richmond set on his face.
Big tiger face. And after the last, I see you've got a 1,600 metre running race, mate. I'm a little bit concerned that a few of the guys after a few beers might reckon they can run the mile.
Look, the Dederang Mile, or the Madman's Mile as it's been named, has been going for many, many years now. So there's many a drunk bloke and woman who's tried to run that.
I was going to say, there's been a few girls I've seen get out for that too. And can I just say, it'd have to be one of the toughest foot race miles around that track known to man and woman.
And carrying beer and wine at the same time, I reckon, should be part of the handicap, not spilling any.
It was actually a bloke one year actually ran it inside a blow up doll for his Bucks Day, so that was interesting.
That's great. That is great. I asked you before we lost you, mate. Milestone Chemicals been a sponsor of the race for many, many years, mate. Is it 30 years? Is that correct?
Yeah, we're getting to almost 35 actually. I think it might be 35th year now. So, really massive effort from them to continue to support us. And they don't only support us, they actually supply all the cleaning products for the whole recreation reserve. So the other 7 years of the recreation reserve, so a really big supporter, along with the community bank at Mount Beauty, who are our major sponsor. Just lovely to have that support from community organisations around us.
Fantastic, mate.
And it's one of the places that when you win the cup, the jockey gets a cup too. My daughter was wrapped when I won it up there. She got to take the cup to school. It was a highlight of her show and tell year.
Magnificent.
I love it.
She should have said she rode the horse, Danny.
Oh, look, give her a couple of years. I'm sure she can elaborate on that. She goes all right for telling me yarn. She is related to me after all. Come on.
So you've got the fashions of the field for both the men and the women, Marcus.
Yes.
Face painting. Obviously, the bookies are all there as well. On course TAB. One thing I need to ask, and a lot of people, sometimes when they go to these meetings, get a bit stuck. Do you actually have an on-course ATM? We
do have an ability to take cash out, so you're all good there. I wouldn't, if you're planning on loading up on something in the cup, maybe grab it beforehand. But yeah, definitely have facilities on course, and obviously, tap facilities at all of the different areas. So no issues there at all.
No worries. It's just started to rain here now, by the way. And obviously you've got plenty of places to get some food and grog.
Yep, and still one of the unique parts of picnic racing, and certainly Dederang is you can BYO as well. But yeah, very well stocked bar, pizzas and all sorts of food there for people, plus a winery, and Dederang ice cream. The famous Dederang ice cream will be scooping for the last time. So they've closed their doors and only have enough left for the Dederang races.
Oh.
So.
Oh no, that ice cream is like the best.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah, I love their ice cream. It is absolutely yummy as bugger. Jeez, I picked a bad year to miss. Shit.
Yeah, it's an absolute shocker. And by the way, you're not getting the invite back to the farm either, Danny. I owed you one from last year. You're not going to get another one given you're not turning up this year.
I'm really stuck now. I hope they don't have a double header next year, because then I'm really buggered. But no, I'll pass on the racing on the Sunday anyway. So no, I am coming up. I am coming up to stay up there.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that, Danny, before. It is little bit baffling to us at Dederang. We consistently come up against double headers. Previously, it was Woolamai, and for a club that is so far away from the genuine picnic scene. It is a bit baffling as to why they want to run double headers against Dederang, pretty much every year.
I mean, last year
something we'll need to take up.
Yeah, last year your field stacked up amazing. It was just a shitty circumstances that panned out. And I reckon it would stack up a lot better if you didn't have all the horses looking for other options on the other day, because it is a ripping track. It's a ripping weekend away. And I've told everybody about it. I must admit, like I've had a ball up there. And the pizza and the ice cream, won't be able to get ice cream now, but the pizza was always really good too. You grab a pizza before you head at home, if they hadn't sold out of ingredients. And a couple of people sort of said to me, because I was walking around eating ice cream in my silks, "Oh, geez, how are you going to go with that?" And I'm like, "No, I'm right. Don't worry about that." Don't know whether I'll have that problem. I can hope. Yeah, so I'm really hoping that sort of in the next sort of season, and that we can sort of iron out some of these double headers that we always sort of seem to come up against, and sort of lay a few things out a little bit differently, so as it pans out a bit nicer for everybody.
Now, I remember.
Yeah, we've been really well. Sorry, Paul. We've been really well supported by the Wang trainers, the professional trainers at Wangaratta, which has been really good for us. We've got a couple of, obviously, quite a few picnic horses still coming up, but the support we've had from the Wang trainers has been really appreciated.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. It really is.
When I was up there last year, Marcus, and you had me in the VIP area, and thank you very much. And I'm up there again this year. Thank you. And I was speaking to some young fellows near me, and they had a four-wheel drive, and they backed it up with a trailer. And I think you know what I'm talking about here. And these blokes, they had the biggest eskies I've ever seen on the back of this trailer. And they were set for, well, I would have thought a week, mate, but they reckon, no, they'll be finished by midnight. And I thought, my goodness, these blokes are legends.
Yep. Yeah. Look, a few boys don't really muck around, and it's definitely a big day. It's improved certainly since it used to be the first weekend in January. That was always a really kind of messy day. Particularly a few of them at 40 odd degrees. But, we run a courtesy bus down to the pub and make everyone Dave's problem after about 6 o'clock, which, he goes all right until about midnight, I think. Yeah, exactly.
We lobbed in there trying to get takeaways after the last time I was up there, and it was packed 50 deep then, so let alone what it was like by 6:30. So we were sort of skittling off course because we had to get home. So yeah, be a big weekend. I'm itching to stay up and actually spend the weekend up there, because the music and that not only you guys play, but obviously Dave at the pub, he kicks off after the races as well. And it's ripping. Absolutely ripping.
Yeah.
People that didn't watch the show last week, last year, Marcus, can you tell us the story again about a particular jockey coming through the roof of the pub?
I can. Harry Bacon, who is a well-known picnic jockey,
I actually met
may
him at
or may
Merton.
not have
I
had
was
a.
introduced to him, and we're going to get him on the show. They told me he's an
Oh,
absolute
really?
legend. Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
great.
He's a
Oh,
ripper.
he's an absolute cracker. Yeah. And would still be riding horses for us, except he got rolled one weekend at. I actually reckon it might have been Yay for smoking something in the jockeys' rooms beforehand and got a few weeks suspension. But he might have had a couple, I reckon, at the pub. And at one point, I'm standing there with a couple of brothers, and we'd had a little bit to drink, and you could walk. There was a shade cloth over the top of the area out the back of the pub, and a grapevine growing over it. And lo and behold, Harry came flying through it and crashed to the deck mid-band, took out the drummer and everything. So it was quite amusing.
That would have been great if somebody was filming it.
It was pre-phones, which is probably why you got away with stuff back then, I'd say.
Absolutely. There's a good reason why some of this stuff hasn't come to light until recent years when we've all spoken about it. Pre-phones, there was a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, exactly. It was plenty of good stories about Dederang too. You know, we're one of those unique tracks where we actually had a one-horse race one year, which is quite unusual. So the rules are you only have to canter the last 200 meters and cross the finish line to win the race. So we didn't even set the stalls up; just jogged out, rolled down to the 400-meter mark, and trotted up. So
did it win?
The things you learn.
As long as the rider stays on, you're pretty right.
Yeah, exactly right. Look, I've owned some horses that would have lost that race, but anyway.
I've bet on some horses that would have lost that race, mate.
Very true.
I reckon I've ridden a couple that could have too. Don't worry. So yeah, there's always a reason to be beaten.
Oh, that's great.
Bloody things. So what are some of the, apart from your one horse race, what are some of the most memorable race days you've had up there?
Look, I mean, I actually have only missed one in my time, and that happens to be a year when my dad refused to go to the races when he was on the committee because the committee had decided to get. I can't remember exactly what they did. Anyway, they removed most of the community groups from the various things that they used to do, and Dad refused to go. So that's actually the only year I haven't been. But I think probably the most memorable thing is having a horse win 2 races on one day. So it rolled around in a maiden at very short quote and won quite easily. And that was back in the day. We just needed the vet to say it was okay. And then, rolled around in the Trophy 1 race, I think, which it would have been eligible for at that point. And, and Pollack's the field again at about 6-1. And my brother happened to own that. So,
wow.
that was a pretty good day. Look, winning the Cup as an owner, that's probably one of the absolute highlights. I'd say the pub was a highlight after that. But, we'd had 13 tries at winning the Cup before we actually won it, and taken some okay horses up there who just couldn't deal with the Dederang track. As you know, Danny, she's pretty different.
Yeah, she is.
So, I think we really just we've got to a point as a committee and a group where we've become really connected with the community, and we always sort of talk about that by the community for the community, and that's what we actually really all enjoy about it. It's become a really community focused event, and we get so much support from all of the user groups and all of the community groups that come and help us. We had 16 people there today from different community groups helping us set up. We've got another 20 coming tomorrow. We had 15 on Saturday. So, it's hard to pick out the real memorable ones because it's such a great event that there's always things to talk about.
Absolutely. And anyone who gets along there, they can see the real community spirit that comes through at the club. Everybody knows everybody, and the whole crowd are in there for each other. Hey, just out of curiosity, your mile mad run, how many of the footy players are having a crack at getting their fitness up on that day?
Absolutely bugger all.
They're too drunk.
They're yeah, exactly right. Their right hands are getting a really good workout, and they know how far the 1,600 metres is, so none of them have a crack at it. We actually had a guy last year come down, and he's in the Australian team, and he was training at Falls Creek, and he was like, well, for $200, that gets me a couple of physio visits, so I'll come down. And yeah, he started warming up an hour before the Madman's Mile, and then did it in an absolute canter. So I'm not sure if he's back this year, but yeah, that was
That'd be a nice surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely priceless. Oh, that's great. How long's the foot race been going for?
Not really sure, Danny. It's been going for the whole time I've been there.
That's
so,
not that long.
Yeah, as long as no. Thanks for that. That's really good. Yeah, so it's been going for quite a while. But the only thing that I know of that's actually dropped off is we used to have a dog high jump as well before the tug of war. And
Oh, really?
yeah, and there was a guy going around, and he had a couple of dogs that could really jump, and he was winning all the dog high jumps. Supposedly that's a thing. And yeah, and so we stopped doing dog high jumps because he was basically winning everything.
Oh, fair enough. Oh,
Yeah.
might be time to get it back on. He'll have older dogs now.
Yeah, well, quite possibly. There is a bit of talk about it coming back. I'm just not sure. I feel like we've got enough to do at this point.
Oh, come on, set yourself up for more missions.
And your role on race day is going to be the same as last year, Marcus. Even though there was no horses, you were doing all sorts of stuff. You were presenting the fashions in the field. You were down there, and they couldn't get you off the mic, mate.
Yeah, I will be talking shit. I think probably this year I will drink less during the day, or certainly drink not much during the day. So that will make it probably less amusing, and maybe make me spend a little bit less time on the mic. Got to admit, Paul, by the end of the day last year, I was pretty cooked.
Oh, nothing wrong with that, mate.
Well, you didn't have any horses to worry about, so it was a whole different caliber of day. Let's be honest.
Oh, it was perfect, Danny. I enjoyed it much more than I had the previous few years.
I honestly, when we got there, Marcus, knowing there was no horses, I just couldn't believe how many people were still there, mate. I thought, people will pull the pin and won't worry about it. Incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing, and it was that's kind of that thing that we talk about, and maybe I should really talk about that as a pretty amazing memory. We've ran a horse rate without horses. We're the only club to ever run a phantom meet with a tab. Because tabs aren't allowed to run at phantom meets. Just happened they were there, and we may or may not have paid some staff some cash. You know, just to have that many people turn up to a day that didn't have horses, and that post to go out on the Friday night was pretty shattering to say we couldn't race. And, you know, there was 250 comments on it in no time to say, no, it's fine, we're coming, no worries at all, can't wait for the day. So, yeah, phenomenal.
Fantastic. We've got just on 3 minutes left, Danny.
What can I bomb you with? I don't know that there's much. What footy team do you barrack for, just to refresh mine and Paul's memory, so he can pick on you further?
How's he going to pick on me? I'm a Pies supporter.
Correct. That's why he will. He's a Richmond supporter.
Sorry,
but we won the flag, Danny. I don't know what he will.
Sorry, you're still there?
Keep on me about.
I can't hear you. You still there? No, well done.
All right. So apart from Dederang, what's your favourite racing memory?
Mine. Oh, what is my favourite racing memory? I won my very first horse that I owned that won a race at Kerrang, and I got a beach towel and a microwave, and I was pretty bloody happy about that.
Pretty cool trophy.
It was. It was great. Yeah. So the
co-pilot for the day, which is obviously your wife. How did she do in this week leading up to the leading up to your race meeting?
So my wife is very tolerant. I wouldn't say she has any understanding of what goes on and I'd love to say it was just a week, Danny, but we all know that it's months and months of mucking around.
Months and months of mucking around and planning.
Correct. So very tolerant and probably the most amazing person I know.
Do I have right of reply?
Absolutely, of course you
Yeah.
do. Get in while you can.
Can I feel like I just want to put on the record that I much prefer this year than last year when we found out hours before sort of settling into Friday night pre-gaming and all that sort of business. Marcus is much happier this year when things have gone smoothly with the track and we've got something to look forward to on Saturday and the weather's going to be perfect. So this is a great semario. Very happy if we can do this future years. That's my firm preference.
Well done. All right. We're going to run out of time, guys. Thank you so much, Marcus. We lost you there for a couple of minutes, mate, but we got through it. Thank you so much for coming, mate. I'm really looking forward to catching up with you on Saturday, mate. You have to get off that mic so we can have a beer together, mate.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. We'll definitely do that.
All right. Good on you.
Have one for me, guys, and I'll catch up with you the next one round. I hope you have a great weekend. Wishing everybody a great weekend of racing. Good luck and stay safe.
See you. Thank you to Picnic.
Thanks, Danny.
Well done. Thank you.
Well
See you later.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Cheers.